on my favorite Pinkerism, if I might coin a phrase, was another one he said, which was in talking of climate change, which he glossed over very quickly. He said, he dismissed it with the phrase, and this, I just love this, economists agree it's a solvable problem. Now, where to start? Where to start? First of all, economists? Like, in what fantasy world do you imagine that economists are the first place you turn for solutions to life's most complicated problems? This isn't a problem that can be solved with demand curves and with moving the interest rate up or down a basis point. This climate change is something that is embedded in some of the most complex social and political and economic problems of our day. It is about changing institutions, about confronting entrenched interests. It's about the way we behave. I could go on and on and on and on. It strikes me as typical of the kind of intellectualized fantasy world that I think our opponents are living in, that they would look at this extraordinarily complex issue and turn for help to the economics department of Harvard University.
Stephen, do you want to come in on this?
Malcolm, I certainly agree that economists are an inviting target, and one can always get a laugh by making fun of economists. But the problem of climate change is an economic problem. All the projections of the worst-case scenarios all depend on calculations of economists, namely how many people will burn how many units of fossil fuels.
It's defined effectively by economists, so that doesn't make it an economic problem.
It absolutely is an economic problem because it all depends on how many people will burn how much.
It's like saying if an artist draws a still life of some apples, then apples are an artist's problem. Apple's not an artist's problem. An apple's fruit exists outside of the realm of artists.
Both the analysis of climate change and the possible solutions are economic problems. We know that we can have solar panels. The question is, will there be enough solar panels to reduce fossil fuel use? We know that a nuclear power can cut into carbon emissions. By how much? We know that people could reduce their consumption enough to mitigate the problem. Will they? Under what kind of incentives? So it's very much a problem of economics. And William Nordhaus's The Climate Casino is the most comprehensive analysis of the chemistry, the history, the economics, and the technology of climate change. He is an economist, not at Harvard, he's at Yale.
Well, your exchange perfectly, I think, encapsulates what Al and I have been arguing, which is there is something very narrow and almost precious in the way that you have chosen to look at the world.
You're very good at
you take something,
Malcolm. You're very good at
you take something like climate change. So hold on. I listened to you at great length. Agree with me on a position. So it's almost look. Climate change is something that is effectively described by economists. That does not make it an economic problem. It is a problem to successfully confront climate change will require the successful coordination of many different disparate sectors of society on many different levels. To simplify it and to say this is something that we can reduce to a matter of economic analysis is foolish. I mean,
might I add something else at this point?
It's not foolish. That's what economists do. Okay. Economics is the study of complex interactions across societies.
So you're absolutely right. That's what they do. That's my point.
Let's try to.
That's why we should be a little bit concerned.
Let's ask Alan to refocus.